asking a prayer. They've all become very holy, Ceann Comhairle.
Well, we can do one if you want.
Whatever you think yourself.
We need a prayer.
I think entire rosaries and novenas would probably be more in our line.
Maybe a Hail Mary.
Absolutely. That would be nice. Okay, Gurmaigat, Ceann Comhairle. Taoiseach, yesterday I raised with you the very shocking case of Tori Towie. Tori is, as you know, a 28-year-old young woman from Roscommon. She's living and working in Dubai as an airline attendant, and she married last March. Since then, Tori has been subjected to sustained and brutal domestic violence and abuse. And when she went to the authorities to seek help, instead of being protected, she was sent home with her husband. Her husband then destroyed her passport, so she couldn't travel and she couldn't work. She couldn't come back to Ireland. Tori was, in effect, held captive by her abuser. Just over 2 weeks ago, she endured a particularly vicious beating. Her husband repeatedly slammed doors on her arms, trying to break her limbs, and he tried to strangle her. She fled upstairs in a desperate attempt to escape the violence, and in desperation she tried to take her own life. When Tori came to, she was surrounded by paramedics, but instead of being taken to a hospital, she was taken to a police station. There she was charged with attempted suicide and alcohol abuse. Tori was placed in a cell with 50 other women. She wasn't told what she was charged with. She wasn't given any information at all. Tori was released on bail, but her passport was blocked. She is banned from leaving the state. She's currently living in accommodation with her mother, Caroline, who travelled to Dubai to support her daughter. And all of this happened on June the 28th, nearly 2 weeks ago. Her appalling situation came to my attention yesterday and to the attention of my colleague, Deputy Claire Curran. And we've raised this with you in expectation that the government moves with urgency to end this nightmare. I spoke with Tori and her mother again this morning. I know that you've been speaking to them too, Taoiseach, and you know they feel isolated and vulnerable. They told me that they feel like they're being held hostage. They're scared. The coming hours, Taoiseach, are crucial because once the Dubai court process kicks in, it becomes harder and harder to get Tori back home to Ireland quickly. And Tori wants to come home. So the government must do absolutely everything to get her home, Taoiseach. This is an Irish woman, this is an Irish citizen, and the message must go out loudly and clearly that we will not allow any Irish citizen to be treated in this way by anybody. That we will confront this medieval, grotesque treatment of women, because women are not chattel. We don't belong to men. Men do not own us. Tori Towie does not belong to her husband. She does not belong to Dubai. She belongs at home in Ireland, and we will not rest until she is at home. Tori Towie Iloran Trumlu is massa avek ag gachban. Cahi an rialtas gachrod is féidir lo of kun eola rashawalya geheran. Taoiseach, when I raised this case with you yesterday and spoke to you subsequently, you said, and we agreed, that you would do everything you could to intervene to help Tori. Can you set out for us today what steps you and the government have taken in the last 24 hours to get Tori Towie home? And the Dubai authorities must drop the charges against her, remove the travel ban and allow this woman to travel home.
Thank you.
Well, thanks very much, Ceann Comhairle. I agree with every single word you said on this issue, Deputy MacDonald, and I want to thank you and I want to thank Deputy Curran for engaging with me on this matter, my colleague Deputy Feehan also as well. This is a really distressing case, and I think it's so important that everybody around the world and people in Dubai and the UAE know that we're speaking with one voice in this House in relation to this situation. An Irish woman, an Irish citizen, has been a victim of horrific male violence, has been the victim of the most brutal, horrific attack one can imagine. And after enduring that horrific, brutal attack. Tori Towie didn't wake up in a hospital being supported and cared for and loved. She woke up in a police station. And we want Tori Towie back in this country. We want her back home in Roscommon. That's what she wants as well. And it's absolutely my position as Taoiseach. It's absolutely, I know, the position of the Taoiseach and the Minister for Foreign Affairs, and I know it's your position and the position of everybody in this House, that that's what must now happen, and happen with urgency as well. I did, as you say, speak directly to Tori this morning, and to her mother Caroline, who has flown out to be with her daughter at this extraordinarily distressing time. And I did tell them that this is absolutely a priority issue for me and the government, the priority issue that I'm working on right now with my officials and the Taoiseach with his officials as well. I've also spoken, since we spoke on this matter yesterday, I've spoken to our ambassador in the area, and I must say, and I do want to say and acknowledge, Ceann Comhairle, that the embassy and the ambassador are working extraordinarily hard on this matter. I'm very confident of that from a number of engagements that I've had with the ambassador and her team over the course of the last 24 hours. My understanding is that the embassy is in ongoing contact with Ms Towie. I checked that this morning. That's essential. It's at least an Irish citizen can expect. And the ambassador has been in very frequent and intense contact with the Ministry for Foreign Affairs there and with the Under Secretary. I don't want to say too much more on the record of this House because I don't want to say anything that cuts across that very intense effort that is underway, other than to assure you, assure Tori, assure her mother Caroline, and most importantly assure the people of this country that no effort will be spared by us, by Ireland, to make progress on this matter and to get Tori Towie home. She doesn't need to come home after a court case because she is not a criminal. She's not a criminal. She's a victim of gender-based violence, and we expect her to be able to return here to Ireland as an Irish citizen without delay, and that's absolutely what I'll be working on, what the Taoiseach will be working on, and what the ambassador will be working on throughout the day.
MacDonald.
Thank you for that, Taoiseach. And let me just say this. Tori is not, as you say, a criminal. She is, in fact, a victim. Our first concern is to get Tori home safely, and that must happen immediately. These charges must be dropped, and Tori and her mother Caroline must be allowed to travel home unimpeded freely to Ireland and to Roscommon. And that is the call from this chamber today. And I hope those, the authorities and the royalty of Dubai is listening very carefully to this message. This is not acceptable. Not acceptable on any level. Not acceptable for any woman. We are not objects, we are not chattel, we are not the possession of anybody, and our human rights matter, and our safety matters. And the safety of every Irish citizen matters to us, every Irish woman, and we will not tolerate this situation, Taoiseach. You agree with me on that. I'm glad that the contact now is so strong with the embassy. That needs to continue, but can I say further that every support, including legal representation, as an interlocutor with the authorities over, all of that now needs to be absolutely firmed up for Tori. And the bottom line is this, and I hope that the ambassador from Dubai is perhaps he watches Oireachtas TV or RTE or whatever the case may be. So there is no ambiguity in the point. We want Tori home, and we want the charges dropped today, and herself and Caroline to make their way back. And then the wider issue, Taoiseach, around the treatment of women and the abuse of our human rights in jurisdictions such as this also needs to be on our diplomatic agenda very, very firmly.
Thank you, Deputy.
Yeah, thank you, Deputy MacDonald. Absolutely. Step one here is to get Tori home, and obviously her mother with her, who's out there actively supporting her at this very distressing time. For that to happen, the travel ban needs to be lifted. That is the current block in terms of Tori coming home, and that is the immediate request, demand of Ireland that happens. In relation to that issue of legal representation, I am advised that free legal aid will be made available, but I share your view and mine that it shouldn't arise. Tori's not a criminal. She needs to get home. She's been a victim of gender-based violence. So it's there, but it shouldn't arise in my view as well. And look, we've had a lot of discussion in this House, worthy discussion, important discussion. Indeed, a debate has just concluded in this House in the last few minutes on the issue of a zero-tolerance approach to domestic, sexual and gender-based violence. And let me say that we take that approach not just to Irish citizens who live here, but we expect that to be afforded to all Irish citizens across the world. And not only that, we also expect to be a country that will continue to speak up and speak out and advocate for a zero-tolerance approach to domestic, sexual and gender-based violence for any woman, anywhere in the world as well. But the most important thing right now, in the here and now, in relation to the Tori Towie case, is to get her home, to get her back to Ireland, to get the travel ban listed, and I'll continue to engage with you and keep the House informed.
We are done now, please.